certification, being able to show that you've had a jab, is going to be necessary for people to be able to travel. So we want to make sure people can get access to that proof, not least to show governments of other countries that you've had the jab if they require that in order to arrive. Israel's a good example. They've said that they'll want proof of you having had 2 jabs for you to go to Israel as and when they open up. They're on the green list, of course. So we will make sure that you can get access to that to prove that point. That is different to the question of whether we require people to be certified as COVID secure before doing things domestically. That is something that Michael Gove is working on, and we're looking at these pilots that are running. You saw that there was an audience at the Crucible for the snooker finals. The Brits are going ahead. We're testing different ways that this might work for large events, and then we'll be following the science on that. But really, the focus for the time being on this certification question is making sure that people can travel internationally and show that they've had the jab if that's what another country requires. It is much safer for 2 people who've had both vaccines more than around a fortnight ago. Them being in close contact is much safer than somebody who's been vaccinated and somebody who hasn't, or indeed than 2 people who are unvaccinated. And the approach that we're going to be taking from Monday is more based on personal responsibility. We will set out really clearly the risks. People understand the risks. We know that. We'll make that very, very plain, and then people can exercise their own personal responsibility. So, grandparents, sometimes for the first time in over a year, will be able to be close to their grandchildren, but of course, taking into account the individual risk of catching this disease that people have, which differs according to circumstances. Mask wearing is one of those things that the cost of it to your personal sort of going about your normal life is really, really small. We know that they are of benefit. That's one of the things we've learned. One of the things that scientists have developed the science on and learned during the pandemic, and so those rules will be staying the same, except for within school settings. Where we end up on social distancing rules and anything to do with certification domestically, for instance, for large events, whether that goes ahead, that will all be set out ahead of step 4. On Monday, we're taking step 3. And then step 4, as you know, we've said will happen not before the 21st of June. And between now and then, we'll monitor the data and those 4 tests that the Chief Medical Officer set out so clearly yesterday.